Tell me a little bit about how this could be useful to companies of all sizes, but maybe in particular the larger companies with multiple layers of leadership, and tell me how they could utilize this.
The opportunities are endless in a large corporation. I mean, embedding this in the DNA and the fabric of the way senior leaders operate with each other and therefore kind of project a vortex downward is probably a really smart place to start if a company's willing. Your leaders set the tone of how, and so if your leaders are willing to be up on stage talking about these are my weaknesses and I work every day to help strengthen my ability to shift away from them, that's such a disarming, empowering message to the troops in the field to tell them that it's okay for me to reflect on self-development too, because my leader, the strongest people we view in this company, are most aware of their weaknesses and willing to discuss it as well. That's just not a culture most companies operate under, but if you find it, it's one of the ones that most people want to be a part of, right? Yeah. And that's, if you look at the top 25 places to work right now and you research, the common thread and element is happiness and self-actualization elements that the top people of the company are being fearless about kind of embedding into their company DNA. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a great place to start. Now, if that can't be accomplished, then simple things like doing this with your sales folks. Salespeople, it's a game of rejection. I was a sales guy, a sales leader. I spent most of my career in sales. And I know how hard it is to be, even when you're one of the best, you're only closing business 30, 40% of the time, maybe 50% of the time. But the majority of the time, you're being told no, or not now. Mm-hmm. In addition to organizational chaos, leaders that are struggling and not maybe the best example for you. You've got to navigate all this in addition to your personal life that brings added stress or maybe rejection or complexity to your daily workload. And so having salespeople understand that they have control over how long they stay low and they can recover quicker. They can view the no as a growing point, and you start to get that type of a mentality in your inside sales shop or with your outside crew. I think that's a great differentiator that really keeps you talk. Sales leaders are always looking about how do I keep people motivated? How do I inspire them? Well, when people feel really good about their job, when they're happy, when they're calm and they're clear-headed and they're mitigating the negative emotions that their saboteurs or their negative tendencies typically bring in, they're ready to work the next day. They're ready to get up and go to it. They're ready for you to coach them. They're ready for you to do everything you ask of them, but a lot more willingly. And they're not just going through the motions and grinding it out. Now, anybody in a customer-facing role can benefit from this because customer-facing individuals face it all the time. A customer starts to get emotional on you. What's your tool that you're going to use in that moment to not get emotional with them? Because that will make or break the perception of your company's brand in that customer's mind at that moment. If you can stay centered and balanced and actually help shift that customer from their negative vortex into one that's more positive, you won. Yeah. You won that customer and you won for your company and you won for yourself. So it's just amazing how much we let people kind of just sit in jobs and we're arming them with just the face value layer of skills and what they should do in the job. And we're not giving them the things that help them under the pressure, under the grind, know how to stay centered and tap into all those skills.